Right, hello, welcome back to another video. So today we will be reviewing about Bready, the brand new NIKKE unit. She is a burst 3 water DPS. She's a sniper rifle, and unsurprisingly, you'll be playing her on full charge shots most of the time, so you will not be able to do the spam sniper thing like you do with Alice, for example, or with other sniper units, because her whole kit revolved around fully charged shots. With that being said, let's just get right into her kit. So, as you can see here, the first skill, which is a Lonely Gourmet, when at full burst, she will buff herself with more attack for the whole duration of the burst. And then after that, there's a two types of buffs that Bready have. So like two type of status to be exact, with the first one being Lingering Taste and the second one being Recommended Taste. Both of these states have different buffs and different way to get to those, which we'll get into later on. So as you can see in the first skill, both state actually decreases charge speed. However, later on you will see the buffs on her burst skill and her second skill. So with that being said, now we get to her second skill, Favorite Candy. It activates after landing 3 full charge attacks, and the first effect, which is in Lingering Taste, it increases damage taken by enemy up to 10.2% for 5 seconds. And here you can see there's an aftertaste that basically means DOT, like damage over time to the enemy, as like sustained damage for 5 seconds. When we go to Recommended Taste, it's actually pretty straightforward, in which it's just going to buff your attack damage even more. It's just going to buff your attack. And also it will deal 265.07% as distributed damage. If you don't know what distributed damage means, it's basically if you, for example, hit 1000 damage on the target, or for example on the boss 1000 damage, then the other mobs around will also deal 1000 damage as distributed damage. So that's for her second skill. Now let's go to her main skill, which is the burst skill. So her burst skill, of course, as always, going to buff herself on attack damage for the whole duration of the burst. On Lingering Taste, she will basically buff the aftertaste, which is the damage over time that I mentioned previous, up to around 350% for 10 seconds. And then when in Recommended Taste, she will buff her attack even more. The difference between Lingering Taste and Recommended Taste is already there. You can see that Lingering Taste will do damage over time to enemy, while Recommended Taste will deal more DPS type of damage, you know, like Scarlet Black Shadow type of thing, if you know how distributed damage works. And previously I already mentioned about how to get to Lingering Taste status and Recommended Taste status, right? The only way that I know for now, to enter Lingering Taste, you need a buffer that can increase your sustained damage. And you can do that by having Summer Rosanna in your team. So by having Summer Rosanna in your team as your burst 2, you'll be able to get to the Lingering Taste status, while getting to Recommended Taste status needs you to buff distributed damage. Okay, that's the difference. Sustained damage and distributed damage. So how to get this distributed damage increase is actually from the duo mate, which is a Master Mate and Anchor Mate in the team. That's going to be Bready's best team. However, I tested it out because I don't have Mate Mask, so I only have Mate Anchor, and turns out Crown with Mate Anchor works totally fine. You don't need to burst with Mate Anchor, you can just burst with Crown as usual, and she will still enter the Recommended Taste status, right? Out of these two status, I would say Recommended Taste status is much more better due to first, increase, second is her best in slot team, which is the duo mate. Now that also means if you don't have any of these units and you cannot get into any of these status, then Bready is an easy skip because her damage will just be bad. So let's get to the next one, which is the gameplay. So if you can see, I have the first team here, which is the Lingering Taste Bready versus the Recommended Taste Bready. You can see the difference of damage here is not much, but you can see that it's more comfortable to play in Recommended Taste because it's her best in slot team rather than playing on Lingering Taste, which is not her best in slot, and it's kind of goofy, at least for me. So, to top it up, in conclusion, you pull for her or not, as I mentioned previously, if you don't have Summer Rosanna, you don't have Duo Mate, it's an easy skip. So, and even if you have them, she's like kind of like just an down. If you already have water DPS bursting like Quincy or Ludmilla Winter, I would say not worth it to pull, not worth it to ticket, and just save up for the half anniversary patch later on or other better units going forward. And that's basically it for this video. This is DY and have a great day everyone. Enjoy your day.